Okay, welcome to the Home Cocktail Hour here. We're talking about control issues. Talking about leaving home. Leaving home, baby! Fun is the one thing that money can't buy. Okay, we're doing some more vlogging here. This is crunch time. This is crunch time right here. Overcast, August the 2nd, 2014. Thinking about running away. Thinking about taking a little vacation. I'll explain what I'm talking about, I guess. I can. I've been here for a few years now. My life got derailed. Back in around 1990, my dad invested in a pizza store called Double Deal Pizza off Indian Hill in Moreno Valley. And the place never got off the ground. We put our house up for collateral. We used to live two lots over. He built the house over there. He was an electrician, and, you know, the house was paid for. When he bought the land, it's 2 houses over, he bought the land here as well, and this wasn't here. This was empty for many years, basically. But this thing was here, though. It was like a tool shed kind of thing. The same year that we lost our house in '95, I got accepted to one of Claremont colleges, and there was always indicators that even though there's bumps in the road, that, you know, there's still light at the end of the tunnel, you know. I guess there's bumps on the road in the tunnel, so to say, right? So I thought through, and I passed calculus. I got great work reviews, and this thing's basically been my spiel. This past couple of minutes, I do a lot of vlogs, and I repeat a lot of the same information because I do many vlogs, and, you know, I like to have the same core information and then splinter off from there. I got a job at a warehouse after having been fired from a different warehouse during a leave of absence. I got a job in August 2000, and one of my professors pressed charges on me for an email I had sent 8 months before. And I did a year in LA County Jail, and I always look back at that point to the time where it's like, hey man, even though there were bumps in the road, I was still having a pretty normal life. Okay, did a year in LA County Jail, and I was set up in a government program. I spent some time in a halfway house, and eventually I wound up on SSI. And that's gone on for 13 and a half years. You know. Hello, Poopy. So, yesterday I got paid my last paycheck from the government. And in a time, since I started college in Claremont till now, the demographics have flipped here where I'm at in Fontana. And this is not about being racist. This is not about that. This is practicality. This is pragmatism. I fueled up, I didn't fuel up actually, I went to a gas station though. last night to buy a 40 ounce of beer. And I used to know the people that used to work at the Mobil out there, the Mobil gas station. I used to know them in high school. You know, no big deal, but they happen to be white, and that's fine. And the guy that sold the beer was, I'm talking about last night, the guy that sold the beer last night, he was friendly and everything, but everything's gone Spanish out here. Everything's gone Spanish. And that's one of the elephants in the room that people stop talking about somehow. You hear it on the TV, obviously, some of these immigration issues. Knowing that my money's running out, I went to some warehouses a couple days ago, and everything is done through temp agencies now. And most of the receptionists that I came across, that I was able to talk to at least, have thick Spanish accents. I applied and had an interview to be a regular laborer, and I have a bachelor's degree at the Pomona Fair, and this is over the last couple of weeks. No response. I got no response. And I'm guessing because, you know, every time I go around and look at the roadsides when they're doing construction, the vast majority of people are brown. Okay? My last name's Corona, by the way. But it seems to me that what is going on out there is whoever the business owners are, whoever the management is, I think they like to hire the people that are a little easier to fire. You know, I think they think that, you know, that someone that has forged papers, because this is the elephant in the room here, you know, someone that, you know, doesn't have college experience, especially someone like me that while I was at college I involved myself in unions. I have a couple of awards, you know, from the United Farm Workers and from the AFL-CIO. And one of the great qualities of blacklisting is usually they don't tell you you're on the fucking list. You know, you kind of have to figure it out. Hello, booby. So, here I am prepping to leave. I have a sister that lives in Northern California, you know, up near San Jose, and I have this sense that if I stick around here, I'm not going to get a job and my money's going to run out, okay? And this is going to be pathetic, you know, for lack of a better word, and to be candid. This is going to be pathetic right here, man. I managed to graduate from one of the Claremont colleges, and I can't get out of this place right here, you know, in Trailer in Fontana. And my sister Dee Dee, came down. She's staying with my dad, and he spent a few $1,000s for different things for her, brand new tires, laser surgery for her eyes, and paid for some dental work. And somehow she managed to get a condo pretty close to where my godparents used to live in Encino, right down the street, as a matter of fact. Same street, about a mile down. And she has homeowners association dues. And my dad already said he's not going to pay for that. She doesn't understand, and I'm not saying I understand. I did a piece on this recently too. The gigabytes. You know, how quick memory will turn into loads and loads of gigabytes. She has a Verizon plan without a unlimited data limit. So she got charged $113 above and beyond her normal bill. while she was sticking around. And I think she wanted my dad to pay for that. We're coming on 10 minutes here. But this is one of the bigger ones. This is one of the more significant ones here. This will probably wind up at Homer Cocktail 14. I just did a hour-long video about vegetarianism that I put on Homer Cocktail 15. I left that one in color, but this one I'll likely convert to black and white. If it goes on. If it goes on. You know, I want to clear some of these things out. I want to explain myself as best as I can. People are going to think I'm erratic or something. I'm guessing. Some people are going to think, no, you're just perceptive. You're perceptive. You know, you're not going to get a job here. Something's going on that no one's talking about. You know, the elephant in the room and all. You know, I saved my work views. I have excellent work views. This is baffling that I can't even get a job at a temp agency. You know. But I went ahead and put together some talking points. That's the main part here. I might go in the car and maybe we can talk about it while I sit in the car, because this dog will start screwing with me if I sit down. So I like to go right over there, as a matter of fact, right in this area on cement. Sometimes I like to sit down right there. But we'll go in here. We'll do the talking points. Okay. Come in real quick. It's a chicken farm I live across the street from. This land has been in the family for a long time. Let's go ahead and prop this up a little bit. iPhone out here. So I figure what's going to happen is I might stop by my youngest sisters. I have 3 older sisters. My youngest sister lives in Encino right now. She's the one that had the laser eye surgery. My middle sister lives in San Bernardino. She's been a conservator. They sent a paychecks to her. Okay, and she deposited the last of my paychecks yesterday. My oldest sister lives near San Jose. And after I go to Encino, I might go up to San Jose. And that's a tentative plan. And we'll go ahead and talk about some of these things. But this thing right here on the little iPhone notes, I don't know if you can see how it's notes. Anyway, I figure I'll have some talking points with my sister. But before we go into that, I got a text message from my dad. I think he screenshotted something Dee Dee had sent him. And she had been there for about a month, and things were going okay. And at the very end, got a little emotional, a little, you know, weird. And she left while, you know, we were taking naps. She didn't say goodbye or anything. And let's see. I'll read you what she said about that. She said, I honestly wanted to stay one more night, and that's why I figured if I had that margarita at Yvette's, I wouldn't have been drinking and driving. I cried all the way home because I didn't want to leave. I'm fine now. I just got used to staying there and around family, I guess. I was overwhelmed with how extremely blessed I've realized it was to have an extraordinary family, and out of fear that I'd lose my grip because of how tough the economy is on everyone. I feared I wouldn't be able to return somehow. Rosa has separated us before in the past, and suddenly I felt traumatized by that. And then she sent, you know, some music videos later on. Okay, but the next day, I got a message from my dad, who forwarded something that she texted him. Did a screenshot. I feel that you should have warned me that I was going to be left in such a, she said venerable. I think she meant vulnerable, okay? In such a venerable position, when I return home from spending a month and a week with you without working. I love you, but I feel abandoned by you. Have a nice life, Dad. I'm going to the dentist on my own. She has a follow-up appointment, in hopes that they'll do it right this time. In fact, I'll mail you the tooth with no abutment as soon as I find it. She got in a car wreck, and I guess she has a bridge. Take care, and God bless you and everyone else that I love and care about. If I don't find a job soon, I'm selling my condo and moving to Utah, most likely. So, too many of my family, and before this, my friends, seem to be going through the same things. Where a lot of us went to college or have specialized training. My sister made it into Screen Actors Guild. Can't find work, really. And all of us are goddamn struggling out here. She's out there in Encino. I'm here in Fontana. We went to see my cousin, who lives in Oceanside, and something's wrong. Something's screwed up out there. So I figure what I'll do is I'll talk to her, maybe if I go there. And I'm going to go through some of these things right now. Where are we at? 15 minutes? Okay. I'm going to start with the 9/11 report. Okay. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there that think that, 9/11 was an inside job, etc. And that the point of this video is not, was it or not. That's not the point. But the people that were the chairman of that report. It's a little hot, and I got flies out there, so I might close the door again. The co-chairs of that 9/11 Commission report, the official version, were quoted as saying, and you can check this, check a lot of stuff online, the Google and all. It happens. Okay, it was made to fail. 9/11 report made to fail. I just had a technical glitch. My camera turned off, but it's beyond it. My camera turned off. The other thing that happened was I went ahead and right here I'm about to load my videos, and I'm trying to order everything. You see, all right, about to load my videos, and somehow I started filming again. I'll take off this mask real quick. Started filming again, and unmasked. Right. Started filming again, and what happened is I filmed for about 25 minutes, and then the screen on this thing just blanked out, and I'm guessing that it was the heat in the car. So I moved on from that last point, and I was over there trying to figure out where the fuck it happened at. I was like, okay, what parts did I miss? Because I have all these little bullets and points on this thing. Oh, man, so I'm trying to cover some of these 25 minutes that just blotched out and, plugs in my camera, and I think it might have been the heat. I'm not sure because the camera just turned off, but I thought the file would have still been on the camera, but it wasn't. I was filming for about 25 minutes now. So I'm going to try to pick up as soon as I can, because after this little stint, there's going to be another 40 minutes. But I'm going to try to fill in, and it might not take 25 minutes. The part that the camera disconnected. So the last thing I was talking about was the 9/11 report was made to fail, and that was said by the people, the chairmen, the main honchos that put it together. They were blocked from interviewing certain people. They were blocked from certain evidence, etc. And I was talking about that our generation, man. I have great work reviews. I have a bachelor's degree. I have 2 associate's degrees. I know a lot of people that just can't make it anymore. It seems like we're made to fail, you know. But you know, a lot of this has to do with family issues, and I got to take off. And this has to do with controlling people, control issues. People that are just a little too heavy-handed. So after we lost our house, I'm going to read a lyric from a Guns N' Roses song called So Fine. This is a Duff McKagan song, by the way. It's the story of a man who works hard as he can, just to be a man who stands on his own, but the book always burns as the story takes its turn and leaves a broken man. And I think my dad, when we lost the house, he took it really bad, really bad. I don't think he fully recovered, by the way, as far as having 100% self-esteem and all. And that's the elephant in the room that no one ever talks about. Because my life was affected, my sister's life, a lot of people's lives were affected by this. And I came to help him out after the house was gone. And some of this might be repeated because, like I said, I filmed, but I don't know which part is on the stuff that got deleted. After we lost the house, he wrecked his truck that was on Groundhog Day in '97. So he was driving my grandma's car, his mom's car, Chevy Nova, 70s Chevy Nova, and it affected us because we would go to family events. We went to this wedding in May of '98, and he'd been driving this Nova for more than a year, and some of my cousins seemed to be scoffing and heckling, and I've gone through this before at a middle school in North San Bernardino, and I'm a little immune to the snobbery, I think. But instead of attacking the problem, instead of letting the shit roll downhill, my dad kind of started doing this as well, the whole thing about scoffing and stuff like that, and he's made sure to get nice cars. He drove the Toyota I was in. I'm not going back out there because I'm almost sure it was maybe the car heat that stopped the camera the last time. Anyhow, then he got a Lexus, then he got an Acura, then he got a $70,000 new Lexus after the other one. So that's the elephant in the room, right? I don't know if I talked about some of these other things, like I said, but Annie Wilkes was a character in Misery that found Paul Sheldon, and she nursed him to health, okay? But, hey, you're not supposed to keep someone in your house, and which sets up a drama made for a book or a movie. And Nick Cavanaugh was in Boxing Helena, basically a role reversal of the same kind of story. Found someone in a car wreck, amputated their legs, but then he amputated their arms, and they were healthy arms, and kept her, and that was Boxing Helena. So I talked about Skeleton in the Closet, we talked about machismo. My last name's Corona. It's very much a machismo attitude and Hispanic trait in the culture to have parents that don't want you to succeed but beyond what they succeed. And the whites are almost the opposite. I went to college, Claremont, and the white culture seems to have parents that put too much pressure on you. Fucking study right now. You're not going to make it into college. You got to get straight A's, and you have too much pressure to do more. But what we're going to do here is go to where I think I left off. And this is going to be more than an hour, obviously, because the stuff that I already had on film is an hour. I got to this point where I got this shortened link that I made, tiny URL, and how to recognize a controlling person. Those who try to control other people are, simply put, neither nice nor respectful, while a controlling person belongs to someone who probably has deeper issues such as codependency, narcissism, sociopathic tendencies, or just sheer stubbornness. None of these negative traits should be shouldered by you. Controlling people are selfish at the core, immature at heart, and likely to put the brakes on your leading a fulfilling life if you're in constant close proximity to them. In order to spare yourself getting too entangled with the controlling personality, or to awaken yourself to the fact that the controlling person is the one with the problem and not you, here are some tried and tested ways to help you recognize a controlling person and respond accordingly. Step 1. Consider how you feel around the people in your life before all else. Okay. Now, I got through steps 1 through 3, and I commented on some of these along the way, but you know, the file isn't here anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to run through these, and the piece after the steps 1 through 3 is already recorded. It's on the hard drive in the other room. So there might, you know, be some kind of discontinuity. There might be some repeated things. I'm not really sure. I just want to get this crap out into the open, get it off my chest. And I'm going to run through these instead of commenting like I think I did the first time around, okay? Here I go. I'm just going to read. Do you have any relationships in which you feel suffocated, bossed around, confused, or distressed, or just plain fed up with being told what to do a lot of the time, and feeling very guilty that you are giving it? Okay. Is there someone in your life around whom you feel you have to tiptoe and be super careful to modify or not anger? Do you know someone who seems to have buttons going off at you the simplest of things you say or do, often without rhyme or reason? If you feel that any of these situations have a ring of familiarity to them, then you may be dealing with a controlling person, in which case read on, which I did. I read on. And I was showing the captions here. This is a person that's on puppet strings right there. Yeah, this is a WikiHow, so we'll continue along. Controlling people can be both male and female, both romantic and platonic. Be just as wary of jealous friends who hate your significant other as you are of your significant other, especially if your friend is unhappy with his or her romances. Okay? Just because someone has a forceful personality doesn't make them a controlling personality. The test is, do they allow you to be yourself? Or do they unduly influence your behavior? You should know this instinctively. Distinguish people with strong boundary issues from controlling people by testing their reactions to other topics. If someone always blows up if they're touched without warning, but doesn't react in a controlling way if you wear your hair different, or lose weight, or gain weight, etc., that is a boundary issue. Other people's personal choices, such as changing religion, dieting, grooming, or exercise, are boundary issues. Even if you think you're right and they're wrong, someone who's sensitive on any of these subjects is holding a boundary when it's about what they do with their life and how they are treated. It's when they start telling you who you are, what to wear, think, feel, and do, that they're being controlling. And I remember when I was doing this the first time around, I mentioned New Order's song, Blue Monday. I think it's Blue Monday. How do I feel? I'm sure you'll tell me how I feel, that song. Read the lyrics, it's, should be a happy person today and the whole thing. Okay, don't feel too bad if you discover that you are sometimes controlling with other people in your life, especially if you grew up with a controlling parent. On a deep level, whatever you grew up with feels normal, quote-unquote normal. And it takes work to stop treating others the way you were treated. It's a big part of recovery to break the pattern in yourself. If you notice it at the time, it helps to back up and apologize to the person whose boundaries you crossed. This can save healthier friendships and relationships in your life. Okay, now we're at point 2. So I got to cover point 2 and point 3 again, and then we'll have a video that eventually took once I got out of the car and came in here. Okay, look for moodiness. Okay, Moodiness is a key signal of a controlling person precisely because those with moody personalities tend to be mulling over perceived hurts and injustices that have happened to them personally and seek to remedy their internal pain and improve their situation by controlling others. What better than having someone else run at your beck and call and having another person accepting blame or being afraid when you don't want to delve deeper into fixing your own source of pain? Moody people tend to sulk or cast a pall of gloom right in the middle of a moment of happiness. Okay? I've gone through this too many times where something's about to make me happy, some sporting event or something I see in life, and, I gotta say, okay, I gotta, hide your level way, like the Beatles song. I've done Beatles intros and ends already, films, and you've seen that and you'll see it. Narcissists will often throw a hissy fit when inadequate attention is being paid attention to them and their needs. This is a manipulative way of controlling that can be hard to say no to because the person will often say they are in pain, upset, hurting, and the like, trying to make the other person feel bad for them. Okay, now we're at point 3. Here we're at point 3, and then last time it took 25 minutes to get this far, and this time it took 15 minutes, so there was commentary. Suspect any person who has a temper and uses it often. Frequent temper outbursts, especially those accompanied by bullying, the coward trying to control others. Or threats, easier to shout out dire warnings of potential harm to you than to investigate their own internal source of harm. Are a sign of a controlling personality type. There are parentheses, so I'll read it without the parentheses. Frequent temper outbursts, especially those accompanied by bullying or threats, are a sign of a controlling personality type. Okay. Temper outbursts often happen when you disagree with them or don't do exactly what they want you to do. Okay? And there's parentheses here too. When you disagree with them, however lightheartedly or kindly, or do what they want you to do, parenthesis is which can be difficult to glean sometimes, as many controlling people expect you to be able to read their minds. Okay. In their minds, you are challenging their authority over you when you either disagree with them or don't comply with their wishes. Okay. Coupled with moodiness, the moody temper-throwing person can be a real handful because you never know where you stand with this person. Unfortunately, their inability to handle and work through their anger or resentment can be taken out on you as physical, verbal, emotional, or sexual abuse. Never put up with a person harming you. It is not your fault that they hurt inside. Sadly, it is more likely that someone else in their youth behaves the same way toward them, and they're perpetuating a bad cycle. Okay, so now we're at point 4, which I covered in the part that's going to come after this. It's already filmed. I was out in the car, as you saw in the segment earlier, and once in a while, I'll accidentally turn the camera off because the button's in the back, and I have cardboard duct taped back there. But in this case, I think it was too hot or something, and the camera turned off, and I just kept talking, and I realized the screen was dark. So, this is the Homer Cocktail Hour. It's going to continue along, and hopefully we've all learned something here. Okay, party on. Okay, my camera went out a little while ago, so I came inside, and it's plugged in right now. I want to check. See this right here? Slimming down a little bit, not a whole lot, but I'm in the middle of a juice fast, kind of. Yesterday I had an avocado sandwich, and I had a taco because I had to stop to use the restroom. So, I was buy something I could have bought. something to drink, but I bought this last night and a couple of other things to drink. I'm just trying to, get into the workforce again. What I was talking about, though, is controlling personalities and some of these issues that I've been having, and my sister the youngest of my sister seems to be having. And I'm kind of the school of talk about it. Let's peel the onion. Let's get to the heart of the matter if we can, and let's talk about it. And so as not to be a distraction, by the way, I'm going to put on a shirt. Yesterday I did my laundry, just in case I take off and all. And I don't want this to go too long. I don't want this to go longer than an hour. I just did an hour-long piece at home talk till 15. But my camera's turned off twice already, so I'm guessing in addition to these 2 minutes here, I probably have about 20 or 25 minutes that I've done. But we'll get back to the WikiHow. And we were on the fourth point here, and we're talking about controlling personalities. We're talking about overstepping boundaries and stuff, and taking charge of your life when you have to. Okay. Think about how this person reacts to being asked normal questions. And I'll do the quick review. This is the fourth point. I'll just do the quick review on the other 3 points, just to get in line again and get back in it. Okay, the first point was consider how you feel around the people in your life before all else. Okay. The second point. Here, look for moodiness. The third point, suspect any person who has a temper and uses it often. Okay. And the fourth point, which the camera cut off for some reason outside. I don't know if it was battery or if it was just too hot in the car. That's why I'm wearing a headband right now, by the way. It's actually a shirt, but it's the second day of August in 2014. It's pretty hot out there. So I was in the car and I closed the doors because of flies. But okay, questions can reveal several things in terms of controlling a controlling person when they respond in a frustrated or condescending way. Here's a picture there. As already alluded to, a controlling person thinks that you can read their mind. If you ask basic questions about what to do together, where to go, what they want, etc., they can become easily frustrated because they expect you to have all of their needs thoroughly accounted for and placed ahead in priority over yours. Questions mean a decision still needs to be made, when the controlling person thinks the decision has already been made, all about them and for their convenience. Okay. Controlling people often assume that they understand how you think, even when they actually don't. They may become frustrated because their constructed image of you is at odds with what you say. Okay. Questions can irritate a controlling person because they would rather be in control of the questioning, not anybody else. Questions can verify for a controlling type of person that the questioner is in need of guidance and control because they don't know the answer. This may actually become worse over time because the controller is seeking to have the controlled person second guess his or her own decision-making abilities. Okay. And the fifth point here. Listen for compliments. It is often the case that people with control issues are not very good at giving sincere compliments. They do not want you to feel good about yourself because it may take away control and draw attention away from them. Compliments, when given, are backhanded, snarky, and actually point out some flaw or defect in the other person. For example, Cassie is Maya's best source of feeling good about herself, and she likes bossing Cassie around. So Maya often tells Cassie that she is a good friend, but never agrees to call her her best friend, even though Cassie often refers to Maya as her BFF. In this way, Maya holds out the possibility, but never confirms it. Cassie has a great body, but Maya is annoyed by the attention that the boys give her. So Maya constantly tells Cassie that while she has a nice enough body, she shouldn't flaunt her looks because the boys are already talking about her behind her back. Okay, so next subpoint. Watch out if you are very attractive and the controlling person isn't very attractive. In this situation, it is possible for a controlling person to make your life miserable. Your looks will become a handicap in a controlling relationship, for they will probably have a jealousy problem and will do their utmost to reduce your confidence in your appearance. For example, a mother may be threatened by her daughter's youth and try to make her daughter feel dowdy or frumpy, even assisting this by choosing her clothes or limiting her ability to choose them or wear makeup, etc. Compliments rarely happen in a situation where the unattractive controlling person feels threatened by the other's attractiveness. If anything, reminders of your flaws will be far more likely. A controlling person may try to control the way you dress and speak, or they may even criticize your opinion. Okay. Now we're at point 6 here. Be wary of any person who seems incapable of understanding or accepting the word no. Controlling or not, this person is a problem, but coupled with controlling tendencies, and you're bound to be walked all over. This person will tend to insist until they wear you down and make you give in, changing your firm no to a weak yes, and leaving you feeling guilt-ridden and ashamed of yourself. Remember that it is your right to make decisions, including ones that are in a negative and that refuse to do what this person asks. And here's a caption or a little graphic. Okay, point 7. Point 7 here. Consider what happens when you want to be yourself or do your own thing. Okay, and that's what I'm going through right now. Do you often find yourself altering your own personality? This happened, within this past week, around, my sister and my dad, and I have to tone down things I'm going to say, etc. But I'll continue. Okay, do you often find yourself altering your own personality, plans, or views to fit someone else's? Even if you are usually a strong person. If so, you might have been dealing with a controlling person. In terms of yourself, here are some key pointers to being in a position of getting controlled. Okay. Does a person ignore, underplay, or override your own experience or expressions of your own feelings? Controllers attempt to define your reality. If you say you're tired and the person says you're not, that's a good sign he or she is a controlling person. Okay, we were in Hollywood at the Jazz Festival, and I lived there for a couple of months, and I'd been there to watch live bands, the Whiskey, Gazzarri, the Roxy, etc. And I pretty much felt like I couldn't talk about that stuff for some reason. And I'm not going to go into details about, the conversational tone, but it gets frustrating. It gets frustrating to just hold everything in, And I figured, okay, man, if I could get a word in, say, one out of every 5 times or whatever, you hear about a few experiences other people had in Hollywood or their life. If I could get 1 out of 3, that'd be nice. 1 out of 5 is tolerable, but it wasn't even that. Okay. It's not necessarily my dad, by the way. And maybe this is a family thing, and we'll see what happens. But does a person ignore? Okay, we did that part. Do you often find yourself expected to change your plans for this person? Let's say you have a day all planned out, and then you receive a phone call from a friend, and you tell them your plans. The person wants you to join in with your plans, with the exception that your time doesn't work well for them, or maybe that isn't the place they want to go. The next thing that you know, your plans have totally changed. You end up seeing a movie that you didn't care to see at a time that you didn't really care to go. Okay, point 8. Review how this person sees difficult situations, mutual decision-making, or issues of responsibility. Okay? It is in these areas that you can truly spot the controlling person at full throttle. Unlike a highly opinionated person, who can be a pain in their own right but isn't seeking to control, just air out their own opinions loudly. That's an opinionated person. A controlling person lacks the ability to tolerate or accept differences between the two of you. Indeed, a controlling person is always seeking ways to change some part of your core traits or personality, reshaping you as part of their feeble attempt to control the world around them. While it could be said that relationships are not democracies, neither are they dictatorships. It is important to seek a balance you're comfortable with within any relationship, and the ability to compromise, tolerate, be flexible, and give and take both ways is essential to healthy relationships. Here's another one of those graphics. Most people who are controlling always throw in the argument the words, "You are the problem," or "You have a problem." Nothing is ever their fault. See? Controlling people often have difficulty dealing with problems objectively, and will manipulate the conversation to blame others when their own mistakes are pointed out. When this happens in the discussion, without allowing the controlling person to successfully shift their blame to you and or credit away from you. Okay? If you really love this person, the quote bind unquote they've got you in can be even more difficult to both see and escape from because your love keeps trying to excuse their behavior. Okay? Controlling people often demean or criticize others as a means of building themselves up and appearing superior and in control. In fact, a controlling person is easy to spot from the constant monologue about how rotten, stupid, evil, ridiculous, annoying, etc. everyone else is. Presumably, they're never any of these things. Okay? I did a vlog, by the way, before I get to point 9 here. I did a vlog about people that compare their best moments to your worst moments. And we'll get into that pretty soon on the list that I made. Okay, look at what happens around your other relationships. Okay? When the controlling person is around your friends and supporters, watch out. The controlling person will often try to cause trouble between you and your friends, spreading rumors, attempting to create divisions, divide and conquer, and will even tell lies, exaggerations to be kinder, about you to them or about them to you, to try to break your attachment to them. The ultimate aim is to isolate you from others so that they can have you all to themselves. Okay, this is Boxing Helena. This is a Misery with Annie Wilkes that I brought up. Inside the reality they're trying to weave for you. Stay alert. Any attempt to remove or downgrade your friends or supporters from your life is a red flag. My dad used to call it Pitzer College. Okay, by the way, I have my own problems with Pitzer. But, he used to call, and he wouldn't ever stop, by the way. And I used to correct him at the beginning, but then I kind of realized that, this is what was going on, I think. He used to call it Pisser. He would always call it Pisser. Oh, is that school? Pisser? Pisser? Yeah, he goes to Pisser College. Pisser. Pisser. And he did it this weekend after the jazz festival, but, hey, listen, man, I'm just going to get all this shit out, man. I'm going to get all this shit out, because it's not just him. I've had other people in my life that have these things that, here's one of your captions there. Okay. Avoid conversations about interactions, mutual interests, and friendships, relationships where you are in the controller's presence. You know it will set them off, and if you need to give the impression you're a hermit in their presence, then it is better than having your support network ripped to shreds by snide and uncaring comments. Okay. That's point 9. Check out this person's own personal relationships. Okay. Controlling people often do not have close friends, and rarely are friends with others who are more attractive, intelligent, or well-liked than themselves. They tend to be jealous of popular, successful people, and will criticize those held in high regard by others. A lack of close friends may be one additional sign of their inability to tolerate others and their need to control relationships tightly. Relationships and friendships are not built on who is in control. They are mutual interactions based on shared give and take and always seeking balance. Okay, point 11. Point 11 now. Watch for abuse of administrative or social power. This is where I had the falling out with Pitzer, by the way. Including when there are shared rights. Okay, not the whole school, obviously. A controlling person tends to keep up social and legal connections, such as threats of litigation. A professor pressed charges on me, and before this, there's a whole crap load of paperwork saying, hey, don't talk to anyone from our school, or we're going to press legal action. I thought they were going to sue me for libel or slander. They pressed criminal charges for an email I sent. Okay, and I did a year in LA County Jail. Okay. Such as threats of litigation, divorce, manipulation, marriage, roommate tenancy contracts, shared cell phone plans, misuse of shared credit, and similar contracts, especially if administrative rights are included. Even if social networks, one may block and unblock a person rather than delete the connection. As another attempt to control a difficult or failed relationship. Okay. Suspect excessive generosity. Wow. This one. This fits my dad with my sister right now because, hey man, listen man, my life has been Twilight Zone. Okay. It went from within this past month. This whole thing about bragging about he paid for her laser eye surgery. He paid for some dental work. He paid for her tires. But now she's complaining that she doesn't have any money to pay her phone bill, stuff like that. And some other things. So, suspect excessive generosity from a controlling person as an attempt to impress and control you. By seeming to give you lots of things so that you always feel like you're benefiting in some way, you end up feeling as if you owe them something. Perhaps even long term. They then use that obligation you feel towards them to control you. Okay? This is kind of like a strings attached thing. Okay, now the next segment is freeing yourself from a controlling person. Okay. Step 1 here. Accept the true nature of this person. Trust your gut feelings and try to be honest with yourself. If you see these symptoms in another person and you're feeling rotten around them, it's time to face up to removing them from your life or dealing with them differently. And be kind to yourself. This isn't the time for berating yourself for being stupid enough to fall for a controlling person's antics. A controlling relationship can creep up on you unawares, cloaked in an initial interest in you and a seeming care for you, which turns from all sweetness and roses into manipulative knife twisting once the controller realizes that you're caught. Okay? The stronger person that you are, the harder a controlling person will work to tear you down. It's like an ego trip for them. In other words, this is a backhanded compliment to you, that you were actually a strong and caring person targeted by a conniving individual who aspires to have your traits but hasn't got the courage. Okay? Don't be afraid to reach out to others you trust for your emotional needs. This will allow you to gain a more healthy perspective about your life, as well as force you to seek out your own individuality and independence away from this person. Do not provide an explanation to this person for your need for these changes. That will only invoke more attempts at control, since they will know what you're up to, and their manipulations will prevail. Just make the changes. Okay? So that's what I'm doing right now. This whole quote-unquote running away. I gotta find a job, dude, and it's not gonna happen here. So, point 2 on freeing yourself from controlling people. Be prepared to have a set limit, or to have set limits to firmly make and uphold your point. Expect words like, do this. Surely you'd have to agree with this. If you leave, then, ellipsis. You need to, an ellipsis. Okay, etc. When you hear these sorts of words, don't yield your boundaries. Don't be surprised by reactions to your removing yourself from their sphere of control. When controlling personalities sense loss of control, they may psychologically induce physical problems such as back or stomach pain, headache, grief, tears, fainting, or hives. This is simply a way of gaining control of the situation again, by grasping for the attention, sympathy, and concern of others. By all means, drop them off at the doctor's if you're concerned. A good way of sussing out their hypochondriac tendencies. Okay? But don't fall for it as a means of staying to do their bidding. Okay? Controlling people are very manipulative. Whatever the reason behind their need to control. They will not like it when you try to stand up for yourself about something that is important to you. Always try to stay calm in conflicted conversations, and do not lose your control. Do not lose your cool. Keep in mind that they probably will, because you are challenging their control. End conversations immediately if they start to get verbally violent, either by leaving or saying goodbye, or hanging up the phone. Okay, point 3 here. Expect to need to liberate your minds within such a relationship without explaining what you are doing or how. Okay, I'm going to post this probably to Homer Cocktail 24, and I might set it to private until I actually take off, but I'll be damned if I die this way. Okay? Alright. You know that this person has controlling needs, but you don't need to turn them into an accomplice in, quote, fix the controller, unquote. Not only can you never fix, and that's quotes around fix, another person unless they're willing to change. Explaining yourself will only bring about more manipulation. Remember at all times that the problem of control is theirs, not yours. except to work around and work on your own goals and obviously common goals. Avoid playing or mentioning the control game. Okay? In parentheses it says not telling what you're up to. Okay? In order to avoid sore points or arguing over control issues. In this way, peace and togetherness may be possible on minor or agreeable issues. Okay. Be trustworthy, fair, honest, but keep your views closed away from this twisting, web spinning manipulator. The controller often wants to obligate you to volunteer personal information or to answer to questions on minor issues that seem to be fishing for your bad experiences, weaknesses, or failings. This information is likely to be used to persuade or play mind games with you at a later date. They have a very long memory for information discovered on such fishing expeditions. Okay, point 5 here. Decide to distance yourself, and when possible, avoid this person that you believe to be attempting to control you. You may even decide to cut them out of your life, but this can be impossible if they're family, a loved one, or a work colleague. Some coping approaches include keeping all interactions short and sweet. As with anyone who bugs you, where this is not impossible, proceed to the next step. Avoid mingling, fusing, and confusing individual rights and choices. Okay. I'm coming on probably an hour here because, you know, that this thing stopped a couple times. I'm at 27 minutes just during this stint. So I'm going to skip forward so I could get to some of these other things. As a matter of fact, this is the last tip here on how to free yourself from a controlling person. Point 6. Have compassionate detachment. While it is important to be compassionate, it is also important to be detached and to let go of this person's attitudes, issues, and problems. They're not yours, and you don't need to shoulder their burden. It is the role of every human being to learn how to make our better sides shine forth, and excusing someone's controlling behavior because they've had a rough life, or whatever else, simply continues enabling what is essentially very bad behavior that is hurting them as much as it is hurting you. Through compassionate detachment, you can care about them as a person without involving your own emotions and staying entangled in their web. This is one of the captions. Read some books on detachment, and, you know, continues along. The final tip here. If you are a strong, secure person, you may over time start to feel a bit weird about how you can never be correct in much of anything around this person, especially if it is a topic that the person feels confident of knowing. So, anyhow, this is a WikiHow here, and I think what I just read there was, you know, tips on, you know, this. I was out there, you know, if the camera turns off, I'm going to plug the camera inside. I got to get out of Southern California, dude. Some of these things happened in my life, and I've vlogged about some of them, and some of the things I've kind of kept quiet on. I can't fathom how my life turned out the way it did, is all. I've done well in school, I've done well at work. There's no reason I should be suffering as much as I do. But I'm going to continue with some of these, and then we'll close off. These are points that I thought to talk about my sister, who, you know, I have issues with once in a while as well. But okay, elephant in the room, Nick Kavanaugh, Annie Willis, machismo. See, I have a Hispanic family, so it's very typical for the father in a machismo environment to tear down kids that succeed above what they've done. We just came from a controlling person, and that's the tiny URL I have for it right there. Okay, I had an observation, and Trump suffering trumps some of these personal and arbitrary guidelines and stuff. If you're not eating, man, and someone said, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna help with this or that. I'll pay for this, I'll pay for that, and I have tens of thousands of dollars." There's something wrong with that fucking relationship, I think. So, suffering trumps arbitrary guidelines. For too long, I felt there was a black cloud over my head. Okay, there's a Peter Murphy lyric I keep referring to. Keep me walking, but never shout. Egoism, an ethical theory that treats self-interest as a foundation of morality. Okay, subsistence. My dad was in the military, and military people are taught to live in this subsistence environment, especially in wartime. Subsistence, the action or fact of maintaining or supporting oneself at minimal level. Okay, I've graduated from Claremont colleges. Once we lost our house in '95, I could understand tightening your belt buckle for a few years, but not for fucking 20 years. This has been 20 years now. Let's talk about the Beatles. A couple of Beatles lyrics. In the song, She Said, He Said, or She Said, She Said, actually. You're making me feel like I've never been born. Okay? And then there's a song called She's Leaving Home. And she's leaving home after living alone for so many years. Bye-bye. It's about parents that aren't sensitive to, someone in pain in under their own roof there. Okay, selective memory. An ability to remember some facts while apparently forgetting others, especially when they are inconvenient. And this is what I was talking about earlier. People that compare their best moments, and people that will exaggerate even though their best moments. And they'll always compare their best moments to your worst moments. Okay. If you don't see light at the end of the tunnel, make a change. You got to make a change there. Okay. Light at the end of the tunnel, a long-awaited indication that a period of hardship or adversity is nearing an end. Okay. Projection. Attributing one's own thoughts, feelings, or motives to another person. Especially the negative ones, like being a narcissist. Be a narcissist, right? Someone that has, let's go ahead and read it. Personality, a condition in which people have an excessive sense of self-importance and extreme preoccupation with themselves and lack of empathy for others. Listen, man. I lived for years off of fucking ramen, dude. Okay? And I've been treated like people have, without going specific, or maybe I should because I've done it in other vlogs, I've been accused of being a fucking narcissist just for wanting to live a normal life, dude. And I've done it by people that have nice cars and nice places that they're living. I'm living here in a fucking Fontana trailer, living off ramen. My social fucking network was cut off. It's been crazy. It's been goddamn crazy. Okay? So, narcissist. Futility. Okay? My whole thing is I've told people, when the problem started happening, I was very upfront. I was forthright. And then it became very futile. Futile. Pointlessness or uselessness, okay? And the last one here is hope. Okay, when you lose hope, hey man, make a change. But hope is a feeling of your expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. And I've just been waiting for people to treat me like I should have a normal life. And the people in my life out here have been trying to make me feel guilty for having what everyone else has. Okay? People have houses where they have barbecues, which I used to have. People have friends around. I don't have that anymore. Okay? My dad will fucking jack my shit if I have friends here. He's pretty much already said so. And the excuse is that this place is not up to code, and code enforcement's going to come here and they're going to take this place away. But it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay? So we have those control issues. So I made an inventory of all these things that, I'll take with me. And that's right here. And I have an inventory of, I have a whole protocol on where I might go and who I might see. Obviously, I want to take my diploma with me, and I want to take some work reviews, and I want to show people that I've done my best, dude. I've done my best to be a regular person. I've done my best to be a productive member of the society, etc. And the continual thing that I keep getting is this. Let me put this up here so I can use both hands. The continual thing that I keep getting is if my life continues along this straight path of dog shit that I've been in, people are cool. They don't do anything. But the moment I do something to rise above this dog shit, there'll be an anchor to pull me back down. Whatever it is, this is unhealthy. This is unhealthy where I've been. It was supposed to be temporary. This has lasted more than 15 years. And it's time to make a change. So, that's what's going on here. And, I have all these plans to pack up my clothes here. I have, computers. I have a checklist of things that might be important for me to take. My oldest sister in San Jose, out there in the San Jose area, we used to be on great terms. And I'm a little afraid because in between A and B, we've butted heads a couple times over different issues. And it's only been a handful of times that it's blown over. And it seems like we've probably had 100 decent times in life. We've been around each other quite often. There's been maybe a handful of things that have blown over. But this is the issue about disproportionate events that'll wind up counterweighting whatever's out there. But I keep getting this feeling that I'm going to crash and burn, okay? I applied for jobs out here. I went to warehouses. I tried to learn Spanish. I went to Venezuela to learn Spanish as a part of a study abroad program, thinking that's going to help me out here. Nothing's fucking helping me. Nothing's working out here, dude. Okay? I'm one of the only white people left in this town, dude. That's what it feels like. Very rarely I'll see other white people, and they're very downtrodden, In some ways, I'm very much a humanist in the regard of everyone deserves a good life. But it seems unfair. It seems unfair to have some kind of reverse discrimination. What seems to be reverse discrimination. And I did this part on my Homer Cocktail 15 about the Homer Cocktail Hour, vegetarianism. I might call this one the Homer Cocktail Hour as well, but post it to my Homer Cocktail 24. I'm not sure. But this white guilting. I went to a school that does this white guilting. And I went to, I had this class before I went to the one in Claremont. I had this intercultural communications class that taught about sensitivity. And I was more than willing to say, hey man, okay, I'll take a diminished role. But this world keeps telling me, you're not going to take any role at all. You're not going to take any role at all. You just sit there in your Fontana trailer and waste your life away. And, I just can't handle it, dude. I just can't handle it. And, I think I can make it if I get out of this place. Okay? Alright. That's all I have, dude. I'm in the middle of a juice fast here, kind of, trying to lose a little weight, clear out the system. Got some packing to do. Got some thinking to do. You guys hang in there, baby. enjoyed the Homer Cocktail Hour. Alright then. Hope you enjoyed the Homer Cocktail Hour. Leaving home. Alright. Hope you enjoyed the Homer Cocktail Hour. Leaving home, baby. Leaving home. All right then.